Hello and welcome to the PPW pod, coming to you today live from the stage at PropTech Portal Watch. As we are talking right here, we're getting a, for me, beautiful ecosystem moment where two rivals just to my right, massive rivals, are just chatting like they're friends. And that's what it's all about. Simon and Harvey, we'll start with you, Harvey. What's been your highlights so far?
Oh, it's a good question. There's a few I want to pick out. So if you give me a couple of minutes. Okay, so first one, I'm really glad with the feedback that we've got from the conference overall. I'm getting lots of positive feedback about the profile of the speakers, the transparency and the learnings. It always comes back as a really positive message from people all around the world. That's why they keep coming back for more. Personal highlight for me, I've managed to get quite a few interesting people on the record this year's conference. I managed to speak to Andy Florence yesterday. I've spoken to Rich Hayes from Zoop. I've spoken to Mike Del Preti. I've spoken to Haider Ali Khan from Bizzle. They're about to IPO. I've spoken to Fuad Bekkar, and I've also spoken to, well, plenty of other people as well. But we've got a couple of good interviews coming out, so I'm looking forward to that. We had a good pitch club yesterday. We've got a new winner. We've got HomePay Eduardo, who's going to join us on the podcast very soon. And obviously the social events are always fantastic. And we've got a few people worse for wear today. And that means that we've had a good conference, right? So that's a couple of highlights for me, I think.
Yeah, it's quite a few. So, all right. The big thing people have been saying is, attendance is really good this year. Why? Like, I mean, obviously there's some kind of meta factors at work here. Like it's not COVID's no longer a factor here, but is there?
I think it's the podcast.
Right. Do you think? Okay.
No, I think where I think first of all, 420 people have come to the conference. We're registered for the conference, which has been fantastic. I did a sort by title, and it was around 100 or so of them are CEO, president, founder sort of titles. And what was astounding for me was the quality. It's not CEOs of startups. They're CEOs of everything from CoStar and Funda and Vend and so on. Big companies that we just had on stage. Eamon Fallon is a CEO of Distilled in Ireland, and these are big names, right? And not only just the CEO levels, the companies. I mean, we're talking about all three players in the United Kingdom, all three players in Germany, 1 and 2 in France, and so on. The list goes on. And so for me, it's been super good quality. And why have they come? I think that apart from two letters, A and I, and what the hell's happening in the industry. And what was interesting is just having, I think, Eamon Fallon on stage sort of summarize it. He said, look, I'm very good at building, and we've done a great job of building our business. We're very focused on what we're doing. But I know AI is there. I actually think it could be a threat to my business and the industry. So I need to learn. Now I can sit and read, I can do some phone calls with people, or I can come and spend 48 hours of my life sitting in a room, listening to 35, 36 presentations of people who are every day addressing the issue of how does AI impact my business? Yeah. And so I think that's probably why. I think there's just this moment in time for the industry that is absolutely creating a little bit of angst and a lot of opportunity.
Yeah. So you're in charge of the agenda. And as many people have pointed out, AI is everywhere on the agenda. I imagine very deliberately. We're not trying to stoke people's fears.
No.
It's, I think there is a feeling that it's a bit different this time. We've had several people talk about all of the different quote unquote threats or opportunities over the years, from iBuyers to aggregators and all the rest. And these things have come and gone. There does seem to be a feeling that AI might not be this, we will still be talking about it in 5 years, as opposed to iBuying, which was, or blockchain, for example.
Yeah, I think fundamentally, this is not iBuyer. This is not like half a dozen other things we've talked about, ancillary product and services, mortgages, etc. This is real and here to stay. And the question is, how? Are you a early adopter, or are you like some of the people, like we just had Ricardo Frashu from 360 Latam talking about I'm going to be a fast follower, right? I'm going to understand what it's working, how people are using it, and then I'm going to think about what works best for me in my world. So I think that's what's being created here. And yeah, I shoved AI everywhere on the agenda because you can't avoid it, right? It is real. It's not like this, thing that's just fake. It's real. Even from the presentation today with Mike Vanderheiden, right? When he's talking about SEO and how that's moving to GEO and AEO and EIEIO and whatever, I don't know, right?
Even the people that are, let's say, not skeptics, but they are kind of saying, let's all calm down a bit about AI. They're still talking about AI, aren't they?
Yes. They're saying calm down about AI.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like not even talking about it.
Yeah.
Could I add one more little thing? Is that I think Rich Hayes from Zoopla, who spoke very well this morning, he said that AI is not the engine, it's the fuel for the engine. And I think there's a lot of companies that have just realized that there is a new source of fuel for their businesses, and you have to mine it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. One thing that I've noticed this year is we've had several people with slides that kind of directly contradict each other. We had 2 presentations this morning that literally back to back kind of contradicted each other a little bit. So I'm interested in how the narratives around these things get shaped. We are obviously guilty of shaping narratives because we.
That's your job.
Yeah,
It's my job.
yeah. But in 2 years' time, so I'll give you an example. Andy Florence, who I think is sat behind me here.
Yeah.
2 years ago, the narrative was something along the lines, or the narrative that people came away with was something along the lines of, hello, we're here at residential. We've got a whole load of money. We might buy you. Great. And everyone was like, wow, that's fantastic. Then it came back. The narrative changed a little bit. And then yesterday, when he was on stage, the narrative was something along the lines of, actually, this takes a lot of time. Everyone be patient. So how do you, you're on stage talking to all these people. How do you see narratives changing? If you were on stage and you were trying to change a narrative, like for example, Rich is trying to change a narrative about Zoopla, how do you frame these things so that, people go away with the right message?
Yeah. So I think all of these businesses, I would be saying, my mission, first of all, is to focus on the people who use the product. And if I focus on them and deliver what they want, I will create value in the process. So instead of starting at one that was saying it's all about profitability and I've got to make a great EBITDA margin and so on, it's all about saying what does the advertiser want in case of property portals, or the user in case of all of PropTech. Okay, what do they really want? What's going to make a difference to their life? There was Laura from Sahabinden had part of his slide, and his first point on one of his wrap-up slides was solve a problem that is of really high importance to the user. If you solve that problem, everything else naturally flows. And I think sometimes, and perhaps Ricardo, who presented today, Ricardo Freshu, he summed that portals have gone, at some point they went from being the best place for someone to search to being the destination themselves, right? Like, don't go out of my little ecosystem, my little walled garden, my America Online environment. For those who are clearly older than you guys, will remember America Online, right? Which is the walled garden. Once you're in there, I do everything. And I think if you go back to the basics of what it is that you're really there for, you're serving someone, you're serving an agent. If you're a portal and you want to generate leads, if you're doing something that's in PropTech FinTech space, you're trying to create mortgages. And then you've got to serve the other end. Well, what does the user of the product really want? What's going to make their life better? How do I solve that problem? Then everything else will flow naturally. Your revenues will flow, your profitability will flow, because you're actually creating value. So that's what I think. If I was shaping the narrative, I'd be focusing back to basics. That's what I'm doing. So if you think about, if then we apply that to CoStar and the interview with Andy Florence, he's basically saying, look, we're solving a problem, right? Everyone else is off doing these things. We're about, for agents with homes.com, you're listing your lead. Okay. We're making sure that your listing isn't used to farm leads for someone else and do all the other stuff that can occur out there. That's shaping the narrative, right? And that narrative has been very consistent, by the way, very agent friendly. We're here to serve the industry. If we can serve the industry, by default, we have to be serving the consumers, right? The people who are coming to look for homes. You can't serve the industry if you're not serving them. And homes.com has recently launched their interactive search, voice-driven interactive search. It's a very new feature they've got, which is it's about a discussion. What do you call that?
Yeah.
Conversational AI,
On
conversational search.
On that, so I get the feeling. I mean, I was on stage yesterday telling portals that they haven't innovated, but I will say this: since I did the slides for that presentation quite a while ago, it does feel like the pace of innovation has ticked up a little bit. We are covering, for example, homes.com, that product update. This week, I think there was Zillow, homes.com, and Realtor all had.
Zillow's done 3 product updates this week, and homes.com and realtor.com, and a lot of it is about search and AI. They're starting to cotton onto this, and it's starting to become the norm for our product updates, is that innovation, particularly in, as you say, search and conversational search, is accelerating rapidly. We see it in our news cycle every weekend.
Yeah. Conversational search. We'll end on conversational search. I was on stage with you yesterday. I said I really like conversational search. There are a few people here, a few small companies that are doing it in different ways. Have you seen anything you like? Have you tried much conversational search?
So I like. So the answer is a little bit. What? Oh no, no. The answer is outside of real estate, a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm now talking to my best friend ChatGPT half the time.
I thought your best friend was Perplexity.
I know. Well,
You're fickle.
I'm fickle. We have a falling out, or maybe I'm just playing both sides. Okay, no. The bottom line around this is that I have a chat with it, and it's all about, you cut through the crap pretty quickly, and it starts to give you, answers to what you want. How do I get from here to then I want to go via this other place to drop something off. Right? Okay, we'll go this way. Rather than me going onto Google Maps and then adding another drop point if I had to go past somewhere and so on. It's literally that simple. I've started to play with the same for real estate. I'm not in the search mode at the moment, so what I'm doing is more exploring for my own choice. But I can imagine how if I'm truly in that search mode, and especially if I'm 1 month into it and getting a bit frustrated, this would be a great outlet for a couple of things. One is helping me really find what I want, probably getting rid of my frustrations because I can swear it and it's not what's it going to do, right? It's not going to attack me back. Okay. And I think that conversational search is really the starting point. So in terms of companies, they're doing stuff. I think I'm going to shout out for Giddy. I think they're doing some really interesting stuff. Although be a little bit edgy here. And we did have a chat with Daniel, who was the CTO on stage, I think it's a fantastic product. I think it's super innovative in what they're doing. I'm just not sure of the business model behind it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know REA.
They can do that because they don't have the business model pressure.
No, they don't,
yet.
because they don't have it yet, and REA has invested money into them. And I think in reality, REA has probably invested the money because it's a great way to learn what's happening. For them, it's a free option, right? Because they're not exactly. It's the free cash flow for about a day, all right? So it doesn't really matter for them. And I think that then will uncover whether this is real or imagined. Okay. As the future of search. So I think, when I think of search, and I just want to sort of end on this point because I've been thinking a lot about search. We've been stuck in this fielded search world for eternity. You showed slides, or someone showed slides. Who showed slides yesterday of like the Rightmove homepage?
That was me.
That was you. Oh, that was you. That
15 years of it.
15 years of the same page, right? And because there's no need for innovation around that. And fielded search. I think you go from fielded search to free text search to conversational search to always on search. So it's like I have my conversation with my search. And he goes, "Thanks, Simon. I'll keep an eye out for that. Oh, I found something that's come to the market. What do you think? Yeah, don't like it. What don't you like about it? Oh, X, Y, and Z. Oh, the rooms look too small. I don't know. I don't like arches. I don't know. Whatever it could be, right? Okay, there'll be something that you like or you don't like in the house. Don't like the location. The house, southwest, facing garden, and so on. So then I think it then goes, okay, I'll go find some more. As soon as something comes up, I'll let you know. That's where I think the future really is.
It's a relationship. It's a relationship with your AI assistant.
Yes.
It's my core.
Who I don't have to pay. I don't have to have long, pointless conversations with, hi, how are you? What have you been doing? And so on. Right? I can get straight to the point. It's there working for me. Thank you very much. And then I can get on with my day. So yeah, that's the future.
All right. Well, speaking of getting on with our days, I think we've got 10 minutes left to get a coffee before you have to get back on stage and end the conference.
Yes.
So we'll leave
I've
it
got an
there.
interview as well. It's interesting enough, although this is going to be historically, we're talking about cross-border marketing, an area that we don't actually talk about much.
Yeah.
Which is we've got Benoit Galli from Green Acres and Bernie Walker from Think Spain talking about, how do I attract international buyers to another market, and then how do I then monetize that market?
Yeah. Another session that Harvey and I will actually have to pay attention to. We've got no work done. We've written almost no news this week because we have actually been in here watching all the conference sessions, because they have been genuinely the best ever.
I think it's the best conference I've been to by some distance, and I think that feeling is reflected in the audience this year as well. I keep hearing good stuff, and people are doubling down on coming to the conferences and listening to the podcast.
Agreed. Anyway, so I think we end off with one little thing is Bangkok, 18th, 19th of February. It's coming up.
March.
Sorry, off. 18th and 19th of March, 2026 is coming up faster than you think. Register now. Well, you actually can't, but you will be this week when we launch the conference. And we're going to have fantastic conversations. Taking this remember, the speed of movement in AI is so fast that what will be happening in 6 months' time will be absolutely newsworthy. So you've got to be there in Bangkok to find out what is happening.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the marketing will find you. All right. On that note, thank you very much, guys.
Our pleasure as always.
The conference.
We do. Thank you.
Ed.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.